Don't try this at home, kids. No, I'm good. Thank you.
Do you want to smell it?
Nope.
Smell my cup.
Nope.
Do it.
Wake up!
All right, this is Good Morning Retro, and I'm Ryan.
I'm Nate, and today we are going to be talking about the stories behind some games.
Sometimes it's the best part about collecting.
That's right. The first thing I want to share is I have done manual labor for a video game item. Have you?
Me? Well, what kind of labor?
Yeah, baby, yeah!
Anyways, I got a phone call from a friend and asked me to help him move. And
The dreaded call.
Yes, the dreaded call. Help me move. And I was kind of on the fence. He knew I did some collecting, and he was like, I think my wife has something Nintendo related that we'll just give to you.
Sneaky.
Yes, and so, you ready for this?
I'm ready. This better be good. You helping a guy move.
Super Mario Brothers lunchbox. This is one of the most common accessories that you could pick up for, Nintendo, Super Mario,
Sure.
Those kind of things. I would say that they're not super expensive, right?
Not overly, yeah.
Yeah, maybe $25.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this isn't just moving a couch. This was moving an entire house.
Nice.
Yeah, so maybe a couple hours, maybe 3-4 hours an afternoon. No, 2 full days. 2 full days to get this.
So you made about 25 cents an hour?
Yes, 25 cents an hour. I'm cheap labor here.
Start
But
a moving company.
this is just something that is so common. Again, the story is so interesting. This sits on my shelf, and I still just laugh at how ridiculous this is. And I mean, it's a cool item for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
But it's just one of those things that you're like, I could have just gone to eBay and sweated
Right.
less. But it is complete with
Which is very cool.
a thermos that maybe smells like alphabet soup.
Don't try this at home, kids. No, I'm good.
Do you
Thank
want to
you.
smell it?
Nope.
Smell my cup.
Nope.
Do it.
Nope.
Delicious. So that was one item that just kind of sticks out in my collection. They actually stopped by my house not too long ago, and they were like, "Oh, we gave you that for helping us move," and they thought it was a good deal. I actually think it's a good deal too. So
I mean, it's a cool item. Yeah.
you would have done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I would have made up an excuse to not help something move.
Yes. Ryan, we've gone on some trips and have done a lot of game hunting together.
Some.
We went to South Dakota, and there was a pawn shop in Watertown, South Dakota.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about that. Do you remember that?
I don't remember I don't remember the name of it. It's some generic name. I think it is the
It's
last.
like Owls or something like that.
Yeah, it's like the last surviving one in this small town. And calling it a pawn shop's a bit of a stretch because really it's just a gun emporium. And then also happen to be some games.
That's right. I mean, you walk around it, it's pretty ghetto.
It stinks.
And there's nothing new there. You could go 2-3 years later and still find the same stuff. But for some reason, this kind of stood out. A boxed NES Advantage.
Some guys like to just play around. Other guys want to rock and roll. And the Nintendo Advantage controller is the perfect instrument for all you rockers. The choice is all yours. Get the Advantage, only from Nintendo.
And so this place makes you nervous. Like, you walk in, this guy is sitting behind the counter staring at the door, waiting for someone to walk in.
Yeah.
And he's got a knife around his neck, hanging by a chain, and always starts with, "Can I help you?" And kind of makes you pucker a little bit.
And it's like a weird layout too, because it's clearly like it's not in like a business district. Don't picture that. Like it's clearly someone's house on the edge of town,
Yes.
and this part of his space is for his business, but he clearly lives like right adjacent.
Essentially
to
walking
it.
into
Yeah.
his living room.
Yes.
But this was one item that I think kind of slid by him. It was like $14 or whatever.
It's minty too.
It's very minty. and all the styrofoam and manuals and stuff like that. He actually had a boxed NES. Do you remember that?
Yeah, the Power Pad that kind of accompanied that. It was the
Yeah.
Power Pad boxed NES set. Our buddy Andy picked that up.
Yeah.
Because there was no way we were going to let that stuff sit there.
No, absolutely not.
And then I also recall that he had a maybe not functioning Game Gear that was like $160
Yep.
for some reason.
Yeah, the prices are so
But that
random
was
in
like
that place.
14, and he was
Right.
fine with that.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. So that was another cool item. When we come back, I'm going to share kind of my biggest find that I've ever experienced. And there is a strange story behind that one.
Make him whip them again alive. Make him whip them again alive. Do you wanna do a dance that's funky?
Johnny Bravo here with a little looky-loo at an amazing new world premiere tune. Check out Captain Buzz Cheaply.
Hey, how do you expect a brave intergalactic hero like me to face strange new worlds?
Paperweight. Someday you'll be an adult, so maybe you should drink outrageous tasting High C in the new can now, while there's still time.
All right, we're back, and we're about to hear about this epic haul.
Epic Hall.
Hall of Lifetime?
Every time you walk into my game room, you see it. It is
do.
the focal point of my game room. I was scrolling through Craigslist a few years ago, and you know, as you go beyond your region, where you kind of get those like random places. And one was in South Dakota, and they were some really
two South
fuzzy-
Dakota stories here.
I know. That's the place to go, apparently.
Yes, sorry.
Stay away from that place.
It's ours.
It's ours. It's our territory.
All of it.
Yes. So just fuzzy pictures where you can kind of make out some like box NES stuff. And
Sure.
just really kind of looks pretty shady. Of course, what do? Hey, I'm interested in what you got there, and so he reached back out to me, said that he had lots of boxed NES systems, and about 3 hours away. You know, it's a little sketchy just to hop in a car.
Sure,
and
and it's
go.
Craigslist after all, too.
Yes. So, showed up to the place. Pretty ghetto. Walked in. There was a maze of clothes. You were literally walking through a maze of just piled clothes. And husband and a wife. There was a baby. Grandma breastfeeding that baby. It's super, super strange. And he's like, oh, all the stuff's in my basement. And you know what I do? All right, let's go. And so I
Nice.
start just happily like trotting down to the basement to my death. And he's like, yeah, the stuff's in that room, which is covered by the door is covered by a blanket.
Sure.
No door. And just a pretty gross blanket.
Okay.
And what do? Sounds good. Let's go. So seriously, it was one of those just Zelda moments when Link opens up the chest and
Sure.
it just like glows. There were so many.
Are you talking
boxed
about the
NES
games or the
systems.
breastfeeding grandmother here?
Also that,
Okay.
very, very strange. But these were some of the items that he had.
Nice.
Boxed NES systems, and not just one, a ton of them. He was actually just missing a couple, the robot set, and then also the top loader set.
So just to set this up for everybody, and there will be pictures, but you literally filled your entire trunk.
Yes.
Virtually every boxed NES variant.
Yes, I drove
this is
really,
huge.
really slow. It was huge, and they're not just empty boxes.
Right.
They were complete with
Yep.
system, and he had this weird obsession of just completing these boxes, and he kind of, I think, came upon tough times and was just ready to part with everything.
Yeah.
Got everything extremely, extremely cheap, but just even variants of the boxes where there's a gray zapper instead of an orange zapper on the
Right.
label, or there was even a Canadian box with like a French seal.
That's right.
And so just a whole bunch of random things like that. Also,
Another piece from there.
boxed Power Glove.
Nice.
Yeah, you remember the time that I was going to invite you to come with me on this trip?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I hinted at coming with you on this trip a few times. Suddenly
This was a deal that was...
there's pictures on Twitter, and Ryan's at home. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, you... Lower your voice.
What?
You're scaring the children. Yeah, so it was one of those things that I was like, I'm going to go now. I'm just going to go do it. And,
and you don't have a cell phone. It's not like you could call.
Yeah, no, this was like pre-cell phone.
Right.
Yeah, just a couple years ago.
Uh-huh.
But it was a really quick trip. I shouldn't have just gone, by myself to my death. I had a guy with me that wasn't going to go in, so he was not doing that.
I think the piece he's like politely leaving out here is you had a guy with you that wasn't also an NES collector.
Right, who didn't give a rip about any of this stuff.
That's key to how this story goes here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But most of the stuff's in pretty good condition.
Oh, excellent condition.
But what I really love is that he just kept those stickers on, those original price tags, like this one, Kmart, $84.99. Would you pay $84.99 for that?
Man, I think that's what it cost back in the day, so I guess you would have.
I guess.
So, did you ask, I'm curious, I don't know if I've ever asked you this, but did you ask this guy how he acquired this stuff? Was it all like eBaying, or where was it finding it?
He was collecting for years and years and years, and it would just slowly pick things up. And
so
then,
presumably he just built it off garage sales?
Yep, so if it was an empty box, he would find the styrofoam, which is just insane, and then manuals and the plastic slips for the manuals. And so I had... Well, at one point, because I'm a big NES collector, I had over like 20 NES systems.
Yeah.
And I downsized a lot. But it was just one of those like epic moments that I'll probably never experience again.
That's a once in a lifetime haul, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And so just kind of something that I'm pretty proud to have in my collection. And it's just really cool to have all of those boxes. I got the Rob the Robot box from you.
Yep.
And that helped me complete that set. Still looking for a top loader.
Yep.
So if you're out there,
if anybody's got a trade,
send it to me.
Send it to me. I'm going to hold it over Nate's head.
No, send it to me.
Yeah, no, that's great though. And like, these are the kind of things with collecting that really make collecting what it is. And just being able to tell those stories and kind of remember how you got things.
Yeah, I mean, you can get all this stuff on eBay, right? But it's
but
just
don't.
It's not as exciting. So.
No. And maybe call your friend and invite him on the road trip to buy boxes of games.
Call your friends that aren't interested in games so that more for you.
Uh-huh.
That's a great tip. We should put that in videos.
It is a great tip. Speaking of great tips, thank you for watching. Yeah. Help us out. Like, comment, subscribe. We're trying to grow this thing. We're a new channel. Yeah. Check us out on our socials. And just remember to sniff that mug. Gross.